the Pay It Forward event, and I've got someone here tonight, and his name is Dale, and he's been a recipient of Random Acts of Kindness. And Dale, can you just tell us a little bit about what you've experienced with this and how you heard about it?
Well, back in October 2011, we found out just prior to that, we found out my daughter needed a heart transplant. So our family geared up for it, made a lot of cuts to prepare for the expense. In October, on my son's birthday, we had our vehicle stolen and torched. So my mother actually ended up calling the media about it, and we didn't have insurance on it. The whole city rallied together. We had a person that actually bought us an SUV. We had a chance to pay it forward this past week as a family in Hamilton had a fire and lost everything. So for 4 days, we were putting in 18+ hour days helping this family out get into their new home.
So what happened when your home burned down? Tell me, what surprised you about how the community stepped up? Who wants to answer that?
We were just really surprised, for one, that they gave us shelter, two, that the community gave us so many donations, food, gift cards, and clothes, and the medical equipment for Andrew was amazing. Shoppers Drug Mart really came through for us. Yeah, it was just amazing, overwhelming.
Welcome to Persistence Pays TV. I'm your host, Lori Raudnask. It's interesting, today I was reading an article written by Jack Canfield that said only 3% of the world's population actually set goals. How many of you have set a goal? When I'm speaking and working with people, most people set goals on losing weight, increasing their business, I don't know, sending their kids to university, or maybe buying that new car. Well, today in the studio, I have a very interesting guest who set a goal, had a vision back in 2006, and his goal was to change the world. Now, how big of a goal is that? What does that really mean, change the world? Well, I'm happy to introduce to you Charley Johnson, who is with a movement called Pay It Forward. Now, I saw the movie back in, I think it was 2000, with Kevin Spacey and Helen Hunt, and it was a great movie about paying it forward. And if you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend that you go and rent it and watch it. I just watched it again this summer, and it just is one of those really make you feel good movies. And I think what Charley is doing is really making the world a better place, and I really want to get into the interview with him now so that we can talk about how this vision came to be. It's a huge mission, and he's making it happen. So Charley, thank you so much for being here in the studio today.
Thank you for having us.
And you've traveled from afar to get here and into the city of Hamilton today.
Yep.
And maybe tell us where you're from and how all this got started back in 2006.
We're born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah. 2006. I mean, going back a little bit further, in 2000 is when I saw the movie, and it was something that just drastically kind of changed how I viewed the world. I was 20 years old at the time. I hated my parents, I hated my job, I hated the world. Everyone was wrong but me. That type of mentality, just the typical teenager. And it changed. The fact that I could do something for someone and then just leave, I loved it. I don't like to get paid back. I never did as a kid. And it just changed everything. And then 2006 came about, and it was just one of those moments when I could tell you the time of day, how I felt, where I was, all that type of stuff. And
well, tell me that. Tell me. I'm interested to see.
We were, I don't know how many people watching this are from Salt Lake City, but probably very few. But there's the freeway between 45th 100 South and 53rd 100 South. I know the building. I know the time. I was going from the fast lane into the HOV lane. Unfortunately, it was just me in the car, so I was just trying to be the typical kid and speed around. And then a highway patrol was coming up. I noticed he was there. I knew I'd get a ticket, so I hurried and dodged out. And that's when everything kind of flipped. I come from an industry of the promotional products, and that's the company we had. And there was the Livestrong bracelet was the big thing then.
Yes, yeah.
And I wanted something set as a reminder. Not something that you paid $1 for, you wore for a week showing support, and then you threw it away when life took over. I wanted something that was actually put on your wrist, not to be worn. I wanted a reminder. I wanted something, because of technology and because of these, we have lost that human connection. I wanted to bring that back. So being worn as a reminder, but the fact that you do something nice for someone and then you physically can touch them and say, this is why I did this, I thought was something profound. I thought it was different. I thought it would bring back that human connection. I thought it would just help make the world a better place.
Right.
And we started out with 1,000, and the response we got was amazing. And it just became one of those ideas that you just know in your heart that you can't give up on. So it's grown.
So 1,000 bracelets, where are you now? How many bracelets have been given away?
Over 1.5 million to 120 countries.
Wow.
Yep.
That is huge.
No marketing, no advertising, simply word of mouth, just kind of like how you and I connect.
So here we are with our mayor of our great city, and Mayor Bettina, thank you for coming to this event tonight. And tell me, how do you feel Pay It Forward will help our community?
Well, I think it's obvious that by the definition of the movement, good things happen to all of us. And we often think we should repay the person, but the movement asks that you move that forward. So I've been a believer in that all my life. And from time to time as a city councilor, I can recall, for instance, a man who had just got a job. He was on OW. He got a job at the FASCO. There was a problem with his check, and he didn't have enough money to buy work boots, which are required by the company. You had to have your own work boots. So I said, okay, let's go. We went down to McCoy's Foundry. I was out on Barton Street at the time, and bought him a new pair of work boots. And he said, how do I repay you? And I said, you don't have to repay me, but someone will ask you.
I was writing an article on Paying It Forward because a friend of mine, her daughter was in line at Subway and ordered her meal, forgot her wallet, didn't have her wallet. And she was horrified. She was so embarrassed. And the guy behind her in line said, how much is it? And the clerk said $8.50. And the guy took out his wallet and gave him money. It kind of makes you feel like, whoo. So what she did the next day in Tim Hortons, she was in line and she thought, wow, I can't believe that guy just paid for my lunch. So she said to the clerk at the Tim Hortons lineup, how much is the order behind me? And she paid it forward.
If I asked you or anyone watching this, when was the last time they got that raise? When they bought their house? When they got that car they've always wanted? When they were younger, they told themselves, if I got that thing, I would be happy. And I asked them when that happened, they would not be able to tell me within a month, sometimes within a year of when that happened. If I asked them to tell me a story of when they were having a bad day, or when they forgot their wallet, or when something wasn't going right, and someone, a random stranger, went out of the way and did something to change that day, they will be able to tell me the time of day, the date, the time, what they were wearing, the weather, how they felt, what happened. And those are the stories you're telling me. Those are the stories they will tell their grandkids. Those are the stories they will tell their kids. That's the power of this movement. It's because imagine more stories like that. Imagine more random things happening when you were having a bad day and someone came up and gave you a glimmer of hope that all humanity hasn't been lost. Those are the stories we need, and that's what this movement does.
Right, and it's not things that cost money.
Nope.
I mean, we gave you an example of 2 things that someone gave money, but it could be taking a grocery cart back if someone leaves it in the parking lot.
Like you did.
Like I did. It could be opening the door for someone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, letting someone in front of you in a car lineup. I let a bus in on my way here, and I was in a hurry to get here, and I thought, you know what, go ahead.
It's not going to change anything.
It's not going to change anything. But, you know, it's just about random acts of kindness that you can do. Giving blood is a random act of kindness.
Yep. Yeah.
Going to visit a senior in a senior's home, or make dinner for someone who is going through a hard time had a death in the family. There's so many things that we can do.
There are, and that's the biggest thing when we speak, whether we're speaking to a kindergarten class or college or doing a TEDx or whatever we're doing. I literally could get up on stage and be done in 2 minutes. People don't understand the impact those little things have. They also do not understand that we've got the cars going behind us here. Everyone on their way to work, on their way to school, we cross hundreds of people every day. People we don't catch eye contact with, people that if we do catch eye contact with, we may maybe give them a weird look. Those impact people. Yeah. Those people we cross paths with that we look at and give them a weird look because of our own insecurities or because we're having a bad day, that human being could be on the brink of suicide, and people don't realize the impact we have.
That's right.
But that door holding, that letting them in traffic, may be that little glimmer of hope that they need to get through that day to a better day tomorrow. You holding that door open could be the reason that human being goes home and treats their family better, right. Doesn't kick the dog, helps their neighbor, does those little tiny things. That's the one thing we absolutely hammer home is Those little things that you think are little, absolutely not little.
Right. And everyone can do it. Everyone can do it.
7 billion people. Whether you're like us right now and you have money, or whether you don't have money, whether you... This movement takes away every single possible human excuse you have or you can make up in your mind that you cannot make someone's day better. Gone. You have no excuses, and you can tell me that you cannot make someone smile. It's gone.
When you think of all the stories, I mean, I'm sure you get lots of emails and things coming back to you of pay it forward examples. Can you think of one that comes up for you that just really kind of made your day to say, oh, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing?
A lady found out about our website, found out that we're actually giving this movement direction, was so excited to tell us the story so we could put it on the website. Just having an average day, a construction worker bought a flower, walked up to her, gave her a rose, and said, I just wanted to make your day better. I'm not hitting on you. I'm not doing anything other than you look like someone who needed to make their day. That's it.
Wow.
So she told us this. Again, she could tell us the time, the date, all this stuff. And the one thing I like to put on our website is the time. I like to say this happened on February 5th, 2011. And so I asked her, I said, give me a time frame. The way she spoke about the story, there was so much emotion that I'm thinking that this just recently happened. She didn't know about the movement. It just happened last week and she can't wait. It happened over 30 years ago.
Wow.
Again.
And she still remembers the feeling, where she was, how it made her feel.
Those are the stories we need.
Yeah.
Those are what we need.
Well, I was telling you, Charlie, about the grocery cart, because one of my pet peeves is when people leave their carts in the parking lot, because my car got dinged pretty bad a couple times from grocery carts. So whenever they're in the cart in the lot, I always take them back. And this man saw me, you know, struggling with 3 carts going back to put them back, and so he said, "Can you take mine too?" And I'm like, "No, I don't have any more room." But he walked his back, and then he said to me, "Hey, can you come back to my truck? I've got something sweet for you." And I thought, all my radar went up, going, "My mother told me never talk to strangers." And so I went over to his pickup truck, and he had a pickup truck full of apples. And he goes, "Pick any apple you want. I want to give you an apple just because of what you just take those carts back." You know what? When I got my car, I was just finished at the gym, and I got in the car and I ate my apple on the way home, and I smiled all the way home. And I didn't do anything nice for him, but he saw me doing something nice for our planet, you know, keeping it clean, and so he wanted to do something nice back, and automatically went in my car and got him a bracelet. So here we are at the Pay It Forward evening, and I notice there's an entourage of you here that are from the Red Hat Society, correct?
Yes.
And what made you come and celebrate this night of Pay It Forward?
Well, we do a lot of that. We believe in paying it forward, and in fact we're having a big thing in May here. And it'll be for the Relay for Life. So really, we're helping them out, they're helping us out, and it goes on and on. I think it's a great thing.
I'm here with Connie Smith, the MC of the Pay It Forward evening tonight. And Connie, so what does Pay It Forward mean to you, and why did you want to get involved in with this evening?
Well, all my years reading the news every day, I read a lot of bad news, and we need to know what's going on in our world. But I look back reflectively and realize that we really don't convey a balanced view of what's happening in our world, because for every sad story, for every bad story, something good is happening in reaction to that story. So I chaired the United Way campaign for Hamilton last year, which is very much a Pay It Forward event. We donate of ourselves, of our time, of our skills, and I met Rachel through that, and Rachel and I connected on this whole philosophy of positivity. And to me, Pay It Forward is just little gestures, little things to show kindness, knowing that that is going to snowball for many people down the road. So I believe in the power of positivity, and I believe in the power of humanity to tap into the dynamic to really move mountains and make it a better world.
I know how important this is to the future of our planet and our world. These little things are the biggest thing we can do to make this world a better place. Don't cut a check. Don't do what we've done in the past. You know Einstein. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
We're all insane right now. Our governments are insane. Our corporations are insane. Our wealthy are insane. Our poor are insane. Because every year we do the same thing to fight the same problems, and yet they progressively get worse. And you know what? Next year, we're going to do the same thing. We need little things done on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
not around your birthday, not around Christmas when everyone cares about homeless. I'm talking about the other 360 days a year where we act like we don't have to do anything.
Right.
Every day, little things added up by tens of millions of people would shift this planet more than a $1 billion check for homelessness.
What I'd like to see is that you're bringing it into our community in Hamilton, and you're doing an event tonight at Mohawk College. Tell me a little bit about that.
Mohawk College actually put it together. An amazing woman by the name of Rachel is putting that together, and it's actually taking place at 526 Concession Street. It's at a local theater here.
Right.
We're going to speak at it. There are going to be some amazing stories about people in the community. I don't know exact details, but there were people, a family that lost their house, and the community stepped up and really took care of them. There are a few other stories that I probably am going to have a hard time not being in tears when I speak, but there's going to be people singing, there's going to be bands performing, and the energy there, even before people have come or stepped in, I'm pretty excited for.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And now Mohawk's vision is to really get this going through their student body.
Through the student body, through the college,
Yeah.
through Hamilton.
Well, we teach a caring curriculum, and I looked around and I thought, we don't care about each other. We're more attached to our iPhones than we are to each other. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something, and I'm going to start a movement, and we're going to be intentional about kindness, and I'm going to get an army of students behind me, and we're going to go out in our community, and we're going to help people.
I appreciate her more than someone that can probably give us a ton of money.
Because of her energy, her vision, her
action
to get it done.
We need to hold the people accountable. We all have family members, we all have friends, we all have these people in our lives that say, one day I'm going to go to Africa and build an orphanage. Someday I'm going to do something nice. Someday I'm going to be nicer to my wife. Someday I'm going to be this. I cannot stand people who tell me they're going to do something to make this world better and don't do it.
I call it the someday syndrome.
Someday's no day, right?
Right.
And the biggest question we ask when we ask any group, you have kids, right?
Yeah.
And you want the future of this planet, of this world to be better for them, right?
Right.
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
We have to do something. Not
And
the wealthy.
it's not a big thing. It's just being mindful of others.
Absolutely.
And giving them a bracelet.
Absolutely.
I love the concept. You know, you wear the bracelet, someone does something nice, you give them a bracelet and say, pay it forward.
Human connection.
And they're so excited when they put the bracelet on. They're so excited when they put it on.
Well, even the people who claim that they're nice enough not to have a bracelet, they won't throw it away. They won't. It'll drive them crazy until they get rid of it.
Until they get rid of it.
But then when they do something nice for someone and they see the reaction they get from holding a door and giving a bracelet, they start to realize how disconnected this world is and how it's become, and they will want to be a bigger part of this.
Well, Charlie, I just witnessed something in the studio. We're taping today at CBC on James Street in Hamilton, and we saw Mo get a ticket, our videographer get a ticket, and so right away Charlie dashes out the door with a pay it forward bracelet. The ticket was already issued. It wasn't about the ticket. And then you came in, she wanted more bracelets. She wanted to give out more bracelets. Yep. And you know, most people would be upset and just go, well, I'm not going to go and talk to that lady. But right away you did the exact opposite of what most people would do.
Exactly. You know what, Liz, I've done a ton of reading in the past 6 months. I hate reading. I've never read so many books in my life on Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Einstein, the Dalai Lama, all these guys. They went after the people who needed it most.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King, I don't even want to get into all the amazing things he's done, but they went after the people who hurt them the most. They went after the people who suppressed them the most. They went after the people who people said, I'm going to ignore them because they hurt me.
Yeah.
That's who we should go after. That's who we should want in our life. That's who we should want to lead by example. There are people who are already doing this. That's great. I want to go after the people who are not doing it.
Right.
I want to go after the people who have lost that connection. I want to go after the people who have lost that hope. I want to speak to groups that hate what we're doing. I want to speak to people who don't think this can change the world. I want to speak to people who have no hope for what we can do to make this place a better place.
Right. And that's how it'll make a shift and make this world a better place. Well, congratulations for everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
And for the time that you're taking to come to our great city to share your words of wisdom on how we can pay it forward and really make this a better place to work and live and play.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for helping us.